What up, everybody? It's your girl, Sherry's Joy, with another episode of Bookmarked. This week, I'm going to talk about My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. I absolutely love books. I'm an avid reader. Welcome to my channel, and thank you all for joining me. So, My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing. Now, this is a new author that I have discovered this year. I did a review this year on Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. If you haven't seen that video or that review yet, please go check that out. It is on this channel. And I talk about my thoughts and feelings on that book. And I do mention that I wanted to read another book by Miss Downing because I loved that other book so much. So I wanted to check out another book to see, if they kind of like flow the same or if I still like the author or whatever. And I absolutely did. So, My Lovely Wife, what is this book about? This is a 388-page book, about 10 hours audio, about a family who is rather odd. So we start off meeting Tobias, and Tobias is in a bar and he is talking to Petra. How he meets Petra, it's like he's picking her up at a bar, right? So it's awkward, right? It's weird. So he's got his cell phone and he's like, "Hello, my name is Tobias." And he slides it over to Petra, and Petra's like, okay. And then he takes the phone back and he's like, "I am deaf." And she's like, "Oh, hi, my name is Petra." And then Tobias starts talking to us as like, they all do it that way. They all, over exaggerate how they talk because they think that I'm blind and not deaf and all this other stuff. So it's actually humorous. So they have this conversation about, him being deaf. We find out that he's a deaf accountant. And, we don't really know much about Petra, but they have like this conversation, your whole pickup thing. And then they go back to Petra's house for a drink, and then they sleep together, and he goes home or whatever. And the next chapter, we learn his name is not Tobias, and he is not really deaf, and he is not an accountant. Tobias, we don't know his name, right? He does not have a name. Miss Downing actually said that she wrote him that way without a name because she was inspired by other classic books that she's read where the main character did not have a name, and it made it kind of more creepy or suspenseful like, and it did the trick. It worked for this book. So we don't know his name. So he's just the narrator, okay? So he's a family man. We are in Florida, this book, and he's married to Millicent, and they have two children, Rory, age 14, and Jenna, age 13. And they are like your suburban family, happy, in love, kids are great. Soccer. He's actually the narrator, the husband. I'm just going to call him the husband. He is actually a tennis coach. He works at a country club and he teaches rich people tennis. So, so what is special and unique about this? Okay. Well, this couple, Millicent and the narrator, they actually like to off people on purpose. They started off with their first on purpose offing, which was an accident. And then instead of calling the authorities and, saying, "Hey, we had an intruder, we had an accident, it was self-defense," they actually decided to get rid of the body. And that was their first taste. Then ever since then, they got off on it. They enjoyed it together as a couple. It made them, I don't know, whatever it made them excited and happy, and they just wanted to keep doing it. So they actually set up a profile for a profile and like this whole tracking system of how they do things. And they actually they stalk these women, a certain type of women, and they, he courts them, or he acts, the narrator goes to them as, "Hey, my name is Samaya." He pulls that bit on every single one. It's like the same routine in Florida. We don't know exactly where, but it's Florida. And so he goes to these bars. It's always a bar where he does this pickup line, and then he learns the person, and then he reports back to his wife, and they talk about like, yeah, she's right for this, she's not right for this, and we're not going to do this and all this other stuff. So um, that's how they do this. Now, why? We don't exactly know, but how are they picking these women? Okay, so there was in the 80s, there was a serial offer who, cats, there was a serial person who, his name was Owen, and he went around and he had a certain type of women. So they are actually framed, and Owen got away with it on a technicality for the police messed up, and so he got away with it for a technicality. So they're actually framing Owen. They're doing this themselves and they're framing Owen. And it's this whole big, huge like thing. Um, And there's just so many twists and secrets and everything like that. So meanwhile, we have like the family life going on, right? So we got growing pains with the kids. The son, he's sneaking out of the house to be with his first girlfriend and, suburban life. So everybody knows everybody. And actually Millicent, the wife, she's a realtor. So she sells everybody their houses. So she knows people that way. And so it's like the perfect scheme for them. We learned that Millicent had a sister named Holly, who was not a good person, tried to, harm Millicent every which way. And so her sister got put in went to like a psych ward and a special school and all this other stuff. And she's had like this crazy life. They met, Millicent and the narrator, they met on an airplane. And how they met was a lie. They lied to each other about stuff and then they immediately fell for one another. So they're both liars. They are both, I guess, good at lying. They thrive off of adrenaline. And so that's what makes their relationship work. Now, they don't trust each other, okay? Because we learn later that the narrator, he actually puts a tracker on his wife's car and she does the same for him. So they don't trust one another. So we've got some twists and things going on, some scheming and conniving going on within that, and just a lot of mystery. I enjoyed reading this book. I listened to the audio as well. It's narrated by David Pittu, Pittu. Forgive me if I mispronounce the name. I'm not good with names. But I read along with the narrator, and the narrator, David, he was great. He portrayed the main character very well. It was very vivid. I was right there. I was like, it was hard to figure out who to root for, right? Like, do you want to root for the married couple because you don't want them to get caught? There really aren't really police involved, right? Like it's not a police story. It's more about this couple. And then there's a news reporter. And so you kind of hate the news reporter. And let me tell you, the narrator, David, he does a phenomenal job with the voice acting. He does the reporter on point. He does the married couple on point. The kids even is great. It's wonderful. I highly recommend this book. I have a new system for my ratings, right? So I go by plot, the writing, the characters, and all of that. And with all of that, I actually rate this book a 5. No surprise there. It was a page turner. I was in the pages. It was very vivid. The characters, the character flow made sense. The story flow made sense. I didn't see any, in my opinion, these are all my opinions, I didn't see any indiscrepancies with the timeline. Once you were in it, complete page turner, as I keep saying. And it just flowed and it was just very well written. There was some wit in there. There was sarcasm. There was that thrill, that chase. And then also what I liked is we bring in the children, right? It's about the parents, but we also bring in the children because we're seeing how this affects the children in certain ways. So the daughter, she's afraid to go out. So we have the news reporter. I can't believe I used to want to be a news reporter. Okay. We have the news reporter who I absolutely hated, right? Good job with that writing. He's like reporting, and I'm just like, what is this? That Axeman? I mean, where like he's reporting, and he's saying that there's this letter. It's this whole big thing, but the narrator, he writes a letter to the news reporter saying, pretending that he's Owen, the serial person. And he's like, on July 4th or whatever day it was, I'm going to off people if this, that, and the third. So my immediate thought was the Axeman. Like, come on, the Axeman, for those who don't know, in Louisiana in like the early 1900s, like 1910s or something like that, he wrote a letter in like the newspaper, and was like saying, if you don't play your jazz music on this night, I'm going to come into the house and I'm going to use my axe and off you. Right. So it reminded me, it was so reminiscent of that. And then also we have like the Son of Sam. Okay. And this because they're like giving the description of the type of women that this serial person goes after. So it's like, if you're blonde and you're a young lady and you're this and you're that, don't go out. So it's like, come on. So it was very reminiscent to that. So if there was anything I didn't really like, it was that, but also I appreciate it because I know what those stories are. And I understand like things have to come from somewhere. So that just being said, if there was anything I did not like about the book, it was kind of like that. I feel like it could have been a little bit more original, but I didn't hate it. It wasn't that big of a deal. Everything else was perfect. And again, this is book 2 from Samantha Downing that I've read, and I absolutely love it. So I appreciate all of you for taking your time to watch my videos and to listen to me talk about the books that I love so much. I just enjoy bringing you content and telling you all about these books. So I really appreciate all of your love and your support. I am Sherry's Joy. You can follow me on all the socials, Blue Sky, Instagram, and I am on YouTube, obviously here, BookMarkedSJ. Please like and subscribe. And if you know anyone that can benefit from this video, or if you want to share the love, please do. Spread the word. Thank you so much. And I am also one half of the DigiKast, and you can find the DigiKast on all the socials as well. Instagram, Facebook, Spotify. We have our own YouTube channel. We do Travel on a Budget. And we just appreciate all of your support. And can't believe that it's the 2nd month of the year already. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. And just continue to read and support your local library and your local everything. Thank you again, and love you.